My phone buzzed with a photo of my family popping champagne in front of a cruise ship. They looked so happy. I wasn't there. I had paid $25,000 for that vacation as a gift for my parents' anniversary. But 2 weeks ago, they uninvited me. My mother told me I was too boring and single for their VIP vibe. She admitted they used my ticket refund to upgrade their drink packages. They thought I would just sit at home and work. They were wrong. As they stood in the VIP line waiting to board, I called the cruise line. I didn't just ask for a refund. I cancelled the entire reservation. Watch what happened when the scanner turned red at the gate. My phone buzzed with a photo in the family group chat. It was a selfie of my mother, my father, my younger sister Bella, and her fiancé, Greg. They were standing in front of a massive cruise ship docked in Miami, wearing matching nautical outfits and holding glasses of champagne. The caption read, "Bon voyage. The dream vacation begins. So blessed to have this family." I stared at the photo, feeling a cold knot form in my stomach. I zoomed in on their smiling faces. They looked so happy, so united. There was just one person missing. Me. My name is Sophie, and I am the reason they were standing on that dock. 6 months ago, my parents had lamented that they couldn't afford a proper celebration for their 35th wedding anniversary. Bella, the golden child who worked part-time as a yoga instructor, had suggested a luxury Caribbean cruise. My parents loved that idea, but at $5,000 per person for the VIP suites, it was a fantasy. So, I stepped in. I run a successful logistics company. I make good money. I told my mother to book the trip for everyone: Mom, Dad, Bella, Greg, and me. I gave her my credit card information and told her to put the entire $25,000 balance on me. It was my gift. I worked 80-hour weeks for the last 6 months to make sure I could take the time off. I bought a new swimsuit. I was excited. But 2 weeks ago, the conversation shifted. Sophie, my mother had said over the phone, her voice dripping with fake sympathy. "We've been thinking. You've been so stressed with work lately. Maybe a cruise isn't the right environment for you. It's going to be very high energy. Bella and Greg are young. They want to party. Dad and I want to relax. We feel like maybe you'd be bored." "I won't be bored, Mom," I had said. "I need a vacation." "Well, there's another issue," she sighed. "The suites. They only book in pairs. Bella and Greg, me and Dad. We couldn't find a roommate for you, and the single supplement is just, well, it seemed wasteful." "I paid for the trip, Mom," I reminded her. "I don't care about the supplement." "Actually," she said, her voice turning sharp, "we already adjusted the booking. We removed your name. We thought it would be better this way. Just the couples. A romantic getaway for the family." "You removed me?" I asked, stunned. "From the trip I paid for?" "We used the refund from your ticket to upgrade our drink packages and get a cabana," she admitted without a shred of shame. "Don't be selfish, Sophie. You can work. You love working. Let us have this. You can come next time when you have a husband." I was too shocked to argue. I hung up and sat in silence for days, waiting for them to call back and say it was a joke, waiting for an apology, waiting for an invite. But the invite never came. Instead, I got this selfie. They were boarding. They were drinking champagne. They were about to spend 7 days in paradise on my dime, celebrating their blessings while excluding the person who wrote the check. I looked at the timestamp on the photo. 11:30 a.m. The ship was scheduled to depart at 4 p.m. Boarding had just begun. They were currently in the VIP holding area, waiting for their boarding group to be called. I wasn't sad anymore. The sadness had evaporated, replaced by a clarity so sharp it felt like a weapon. They wanted a romantic getaway. They wanted to upgrade their drink packages with my money. I picked up my phone. I didn't text the group chat. I dialed the cruise line's platinum concierge line. Hello, this is Royal Sea's customer service. How can I help you? Hi, I said, my voice steady. My name is Sophie Miller. I am the cardholder for reservation number 88,942 Bravo. I need to make a change to the booking. Certainly, Miss Miller. What kind of change? I'd like to cancel the entire reservation, I said. The agent paused. Ma'am, the ship is boarding right now. The passengers are checked in at the terminal. If you cancel now, there is zero refund. You will lose the entire $25,000. I know, I said. I don't care about the refund. I just want to ensure that the tickets are voided immediately. I want the boarding passes deactivated before they cross the gangway. Are you sure? The agent asked, sounding horrified. This will result in the passengers being denied boarding. Their luggage will be offloaded. I am very sure, I said. They decided to take a trip without the person paying for it. I'm just adjusting the itinerary to match their budget. Okay, the agent typed furiously. It's done. The reservation is cancelled. The system has flagged the tickets as invalid. Security at the gangway will be notified instantly. Thank you, I said. I hung up. I poured myself a glass of wine much cheaper than the champagne they were drinking, and sat back to watch my phone. It took exactly 12 minutes. My phone started buzzing. It was Mom. I let it ring. My phone vibrated so hard it danced across the coffee table. Mum calling. Dad calling. Bella calling. I watched the screen light up with a detached sense of satisfaction. I imagined the scene at the terminal. The cheery beep of the scanner turning into an angry rejection buzz. The security guard stepping forward. The confusion. The embarrassment as the line of happy vacationers piled up behind them, wondering why the VIPs were holding everyone up. Finally, I answered. I put it on speaker and took a sip of my wine. Hello? Sophie, my mother screamed. She sounded like she was hyperventilating. What did you do? They won't let us on. They said the tickets were cancelled by the cardholder. They are taking our bags off the cart. I know, I said calmly. I cancelled them. Are you insane? Bella's voice cut in, shrill and panicked. I could hear the chaos in the background announcements over the PA system. Disgruntled passengers muttering. We are in the VIP line. Everyone is staring at us. Greg is trying to talk to the manager, but they're treating us like criminals. Fix it, Sophie. Call them back right now. I can't fix it, I said. The reservation is void. It's non-refundable. The money is gone. Gone? Dad roared in the background. $25,000? You burned $25,000 just to spite us? I didn't burn it to spite you, I said, my voice hardening. I burned it because you stole it. You took my ticket, refunded it to buy yourselves fancy drinks, and told me I wasn't wanted. You said I should work while you played. Well, now I'm working on teaching you a lesson. We're family. Mom wailed. It was just a misunderstanding. We wanted you to relax at home. We thought you would be happier not being the third wheel. Stop lying, I snapped. You wanted a free trip without the boring daughter. You wanted my wallet, not my company. Well, the wallet is closed. And so is the gangway. Sophie, please, Bella begged, her voice breaking. I bought new outfits. Greg took off work. We can't go home. We told everyone we were going to the Caribbean. Look at our Instagram. We look like idiots. Maybe you can go to the public beach in Miami, I suggested. I hear it's lovely this time of year. Just watch out for the parking fees. I'm not paying those either. I will never forgive you for this, Mom shouted. You are selfish. You are vindictive. How could you ruin your parents' anniversary? I'm bored. I quoted her words back to her. Remember, you said I'd be bored on the cruise. Now I'm not bored. I'm actually quite entertained. Security is coming, Greg yelled from the background. They're asking us to leave the terminal. Sophie, this is humiliating. They think we used a stolen credit card because the account is flagged. Technically, you did, I said. You were using a card authorized for a family trip that you turned into a couple's retreat. That's fraud in my book. Good luck getting home, I added. Sophie, wait, Dad shouted. We don't have return flights booked. We spent our cash on the flight down here. How do we get back? You're the adults, I said. Figure it out. I hung up and blocked their numbers for the next 24 hours. I sat there in the silence of my apartment. I had lost $25,000. It was a painful financial hit, even for me. But as I thought about them standing on the curb in Miami, with their matching nautical luggage and their humiliated faces, I realized it was the best money I had ever spent. But I knew this wasn't over. They weren't just going to go home quietly. They were stranded in Miami with no hotel reservation, no flight back for 7 days, and most importantly, no access to my credit card, which I had frozen immediately after the cancellation. I expected them to learn a lesson. I expected an apology. Instead, 2 days later, I received an email from my father. It wasn't an apology. It was a threat. Subject: legal action. Sophie, we are currently staying in a Motel 6 near the airport. It is disgusting. We have no money for food or flights home because we spent our savings on the first-class flight down here, expecting the cruise to cover all meals and lodging. You have caused us severe emotional distress and financial loss. I have spoken to a lawyer friend. If you do not wire us $5,000 immediately for flights and expenses, and reimburse us for the vacation time lost, we will sue you for damages. You made a verbal contract to pay for this trip, and you breached it. Send the money by noon, or we see you in court. I stared at the email. The Motel 6. The family that demanded VIP suites was now sleeping in a budget motel, and instead of being humble, they were threatening to sue me. I typed a reply. Dad, I am happy to help. I checked the bus schedule. A Greyhound ticket from Miami to home is $140 per person. It takes 36 hours, but it's affordable. I have attached 4 tickets. Regarding the lawsuit, I spoke to my lawyer too. He says that since I paid for the trip as a gift, and you altered the terms of the gift by removing the giver from the reservation, I was within my rights to revoke it. Also, he mentioned that using my credit card to upgrade your drink package without my permission constitutes credit card fraud. So, go ahead and sue. I'd love to show a judge the text messages where Mom uninvited me. Safe travels. I hit send. I didn't hear from them for 3 days. When they finally got back disheveled, exhausted from the 36-hour bus ride, and furious, they tried to rally the extended family against me. Aunt Linda called me to tell me I was heartless. My cousin Mike sent me a nasty text about respecting my elders. I didn't argue with them. I just sent them all a single screenshot. It was the message from Mom that said, "We removed your name. Use the refund from her ticket to upgrade our drink packages." The family chat went silent. Aunt Linda apologized an hour later. Mike blocked Bella. I thought I had won. I thought they would retreat and leave me alone. But I underestimated Bella's desperation. She had lost her dream vacation content for Instagram, and she needed someone to pay for it. The next morning, I woke up to a notification. My bank account had been accessed. Someone was trying to transfer $10,000. The notification flashed on my phone screen. Alert. Suspicious transfer attempt. $10,000 to Bella Miller, personal checking. My heart didn't even race. I felt nothing but a cold, hard resolve. I had expected this. Bella knew my banking password because I had given it to her 3 years ago, when she needed to pay for an emergency vet bill for her dog. I had changed it since, but clearly I hadn't changed the security questions. What was the name of your first pet? What is your mother's maiden name? Of course she knew. I tapped Deny Transaction on the app. Then I called the bank. This is Sophie Miller, I said. Someone just tried to access my account. Please freeze everything. And flag the IP address of the attempt. We can see it came from a device registered to Bella's iPhone. The fraud specialist said. Do you want to press charges? I hesitated. This was my little sister. The girl I used to buy ice cream for. The girl I used to protect from bullies. But then I remembered the photo. The champagne. The way she had called me insane for cancelling the tickets she stole. Yes, I said. File the report. An hour later, my doorbell rang. I checked the camera. It wasn't the police. It was my parents. They looked haggard. Dad's nautical outfit was wrinkled and stained. Mom looked like she hadn't slept in days. I opened the door but left the chain on. What do you want? Sophie, please, Mum whispered. She wasn't screaming anymore. She looked broken. We need to talk. Bella ... She's in trouble. Did she get arrested for the transfer attempt? I asked. Dad flinched. You ... You know about that? I got the alert. I denied it. She was desperate, Mom cried. She owes money to the wedding venue. They spent the deposit on clothes for the cruise. Now the venue is threatening to cancel her wedding if she doesn't pay by Friday. She just wanted to borrow it. Borrow without asking, I said. That's called stealing, Mum. She's your sister. Dad pleaded. She made a mistake. We all did. We got carried away with the idea of the luxury trip. We shouldn't have cut you out. We know that now. You only know it because you got caught, I said. If I hadn't cancelled the tickets, you would be on a beach right now, laughing about how you tricked me. They didn't deny it. They couldn't. What do you want us to do? Dad asked, defeated. Beg. Okay, we're begging. Help your sister. Don't press charges. Don't let her lose her wedding. I looked at them. I looked at the people who raised me to be generous, only to exploit that generosity until I had nothing left to give but my dignity. I won't press charges, I said finally. Mum let out a sob of relief. Oh, thank God. Thank you, Sophie. I knew you still loved us. But, I interrupted, I'm not paying for her wedding venue either. And I'm not unblocking your numbers. What? Mom's relief vanished. But she lose the deposit. She be humiliated. Then she learn, I said. Just like you learned at the airport. I closed the door. I locked the deadbolt. I didn't press charges against Bella. The bank flagged her account for fraud anyway, which meant she couldn't get a loan for her wedding. She had to cancel the big venue and get married in a courthouse. I wasn't invited. My parents and Bella stopped talking to me for 6 months. They expected me to come crawling back, lonely and guilty. I didn't. Instead, I used the money I saved from not supporting them, the cruise refund, the birthday checks, the emergency loans to book a solo trip. Not a cruise. I went to a wellness retreat in Bali. I spent 2 weeks getting massages, eating organic food and realizing that I didn't need to buy affection to be worthy of it. When I returned, I found a letter in my mailbox. It was from Mum. Sophie, we miss you. We're sorry. We shouldn't have uninvited you. It was wrong. Dad's birthday is coming up. We're having a small dinner at the house. Please come. No gifts, no money. Just you. I looked at the letter. It was the first time in my life they had asked for my presence without asking for my presence. I went to the dinner. I drove my own car. I didn't bring a checkbook. It was awkward. The tension was thick. Ella was there with Greg. They looked tired. They were living in a small apartment now, saving up to buy a house the hard way. Dad hugged me tighter than he ever had. Mom actually cooked instead of ordering catering on my dime. We ate lasagna on paper plates because they had sold the fine china to pay off the credit card debt from the Miami trip. "This is good lasagna," I said. "It's your grandmother's recipe," Mom said softly. "I haven't made it in years. It's cheap to make." I smiled. "It's better than lobster sliders." Mom flinched, but then she nodded. A genuine, humble nod. "Yes, it is. I didn't pay for anything that night. And for the first time, I felt like a daughter, not a bank. I never paid for another vacation. I never paid their mortgage again. Our relationship changed. It became smaller, simpler, and infinitely more honest. They learned the hard way that I wasn't an ATM with a heartbeat. And I learned that sometimes you have to burn the ticket to save the relationship. And as for the $25,000, I earned it back in 3 months. But the look on their faces in that selfie, the last moment of their arrogance before the fall, that memory, that was priceless. If you think Sophie was a genius for canceling those tickets, smash that like button. And here is a question for you. If your family uninvited you from a trip you paid for, would you cancel it and lose the money, or let them go just to avoid the drama? Let me know your honest thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe for more stories of justice served cold.